This is an ABC News election update.
I'm Zoreen Shah in Las Vegas, Nevada, where ABC News is projecting Bernie Sanders as the winner of this state. We'll get to him in just a second, but right now we're at Joe Biden's headquarters. He is still right behind me. He is shaking hands. He is meeting his supporters. He just got off the stage where he was in good spirits. He says he feels good. He feels alive. We still don't know how he's going to place, but his aides were hugging. They were incredibly excited. Molly Nagel spoke to his team, who says that they feel a second place finish would even be a victory for them, a win for them. Now, to break down the numbers, we have ABC News' political director Rick Klein in D.C. Rick, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Zoreen, this is looking like it's going to be a pretty convincing win for Bernie Sanders, and one that is likely to have a whole lot of Democrats just finally saying the words, Bernie Sanders frontrunner. And if you look at how he has secured this victory, this apparent victory, as ABC News has projected it, you're seeing him grow his vote share in between the different alignments in the caucuses, which means more people were supporting him at the end of the caucus process than at the beginning, in part because other candidates weren't able to garner support. That is significant. And if you look inside the numbers, you see some really interesting things here. Look at how Bernie Sanders just blew the competition away when it came to younger voters, voters under age 45. 56% went for Bernie Sanders, well more than half. That is notable in a 7-person field. It is hard to get anything close to a majority for anything. And that is a big source of the strength that Bernie Sanders is able to enjoy. And if you look here about his strength among different racial groups, you see a potential hole in the armor. Look at that. Among black voters, only 27%. Joe Biden, they're going to celebrate right behind you, seeing numbers like that, particularly going into the South Carolina primary with its disproportionate share of African-American voters just a week from today. And finally, I'd like to look at this, the strength that he has among Hispanic voters. This is the first state with significant diversity. You can't forget that the other 2 states to vote were overwhelmingly white. One of them was a neighboring state for Bernie Sanders. But in this state with a large Latino population, Bernie Sanders was by far the consensus choice. 53% of voters, according to the entrance poll, supporting him. All of that powering what looks like an overwhelming victory in the Nevada caucuses, despite this being a very crowded field, despite the concerns about the Democrats turning to a self-described Democratic socialist. Bernie Sanders has now won the popular vote in three straight contests. He is likely to have a delegate lead at the end of the night tonight. And Zoreen, a lot of Democrats that I've talked to are convinced or concerned that it may be a delegate lead that he does not surrender through the rest of this process.
Rick, you're saying he's looking more and more like the front runner. Well, he is about to take the stage any minute now in San Antonio, Texas. We still haven't heard from him after this big sort of win was announced. But Mary Alice Parks is at the deputy headquarters right now in Las Vegas. Mary Alice, you have followed Bernie Sanders incredibly closely. What are you hearing from his team right now?
Look, his team was confident going into the Nevada caucuses, but they are even more confident now headed into Super Tuesday. You know, one of the biggest differences between his campaign in 2016 and his campaign this go around is the amount of staff and infrastructure that they have coast to coast. And they are utilizing and maximizing that staff now. Rick's right. They are going to be excited and celebrate that number with the Latino vote. Our entrance poll showing that he did so well with the Latino vote here in Nevada. Well, they're going to hope that they can do just as well with the Latino vote in California and Texas, those states that have so many delegates and where, frankly, he has huge teams on the ground. I spoke to one of Bernie Sanders' campaign advisors just last week who said that well before they even knew these results from Nevada, they were confident that he would have more delegates going out of Super Tuesday than any other campaign, that they were in position to win delegates in more states than any other campaign. You can imagine after a night like this, they're going to feel even more bullish as we go into Super Tuesday, just over a week from today.
Mary Alice, you were talking about Super Tuesday, but before that comes the South Carolina primary. Joe Biden just was on stage, and he said, we are going to South Carolina, and we are going to take this back, as in we are going to take this race back. So for now, we're going to go to ABC's Rachel Scott, who is looking ahead to South Carolina. Rachel, what can we expect? We are just 1 week away from their primary.
Yeah, Zoreen, well, the Democratic primary is now in high gear here. And you're right, next up is South Carolina. And part of the reason why this state was so important was because Nevada was really the first test of which candidate could appeal to diverse voters. And in South Carolina, black voters make up 60% of the Democratic electorate. So that vote is going to be critical. Part of the reason why former Vice President Joe Biden was betting on not only Nevada, but also South Carolina. He's betting on minority voters to turn out for him, but also after that, Super Tuesday. And if you notice, while we are still here in Nevada, some of the candidates have already left. They're already campaigning in those states that vote on Super Tuesday, or they will be on their way out tonight, looking to get ahead in those states. But you know, someone else that's also zeroing in on Super Tuesday, billionaire Mayor Michael Bloomberg. As you know, Zoreen, from covering him, he is the wild card in this race, and everyone has their eye on him to look to see how he appeals to voters on that day. Zoreen?
Rachel, that is going to be one to definitely watch. You and I will both be in South Carolina covering this whole story. For more on election coverage, you guys can go to abcnews.com. For ABC News Live, I'm Zoreen Shah.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.